Welcome to The Edge. This is the podcast where energy insiders share what's really happening behind the scenes of energy transition. Here we speak with founders, engineers, and industry leaders who are building the future of energy on the ground. From emerging technologies to real-world projects, we explore how ideas become real impact. I'm Giovanni from Vector Green. We are a Singapore-based energy and sustainability engineering advisory firm, and what we do at its core is actually to help buildings and businesses to take control of their energy to figure out what is working, what isn't, and what to do about it. Let's go. Okay, so today we have Charles from Tuya.
Hello, everyone.
So actually, Tuya itself, it's one of the world's leading IoT platform, powering connected devices and building systems across more than, I believe, 100 countries. So hi Charles, maybe you can share a bit more about yourself and your role in Tuya.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Charles, so I'm based in Singapore representing Tuya for Singapore operations. So Singapore actually mainly covers the IoT applications of Tuya ecosystems in Singapore, mainly specializing in commercial sectors and government sectors projects.
Okay, so thanks for explaining a bit more about Tuya. So actually what's interesting here that we're going to talk about today is not just the technology that you have, but also how that technology actually getting deployed, worked, and adopted in real buildings, right, as we did. So for the context, we've worked on a real project previously, which is the Sungai Tengah Lodge dormitory. It's not a pilot, it's not a test, so basically it's a real operating environment that we did with the real tenants and real outcomes. Today's conversation is really about that journey, what it looks like when a global platform like Tuya meets real world operations on the ground. So we can start with a little bit of Tuya history maybe, because I think a lot of people in this building or enterprises space may not know just how big the platform is. Okay, so for people who may not be familiar with Tuya, maybe when I say Tuya is a global IoT platform earlier, maybe they couldn't catch how big the platform it is, right? So what does that actually mean today in terms of the scale? Like what kind of devices, buildings, or environments are already running on Tuya globally?
Okay. So Tuya is an IoT platform. So we were founded in 2014. Our co-founders were from Ali Cloud. And since day one, Tuya is positioned to be an open platform to support global traditional manufacturers to upgrade their hardware into smart IoT hardware. So currently, we work with 10,000 manufacturers around the world. We have close to 900,000 SKU in our ecosystem. As of today, we have 900 million devices connected on Tuya Cloud as of now. So with such a huge ecosystem of hardwares, we cover basically everything you can see from sensors such as door open and close sensors, thermometers, thermostats, temperature sensors, to electrical hardware such as power meters, wall sockets, breakers, to lightings, indoor lighting, outdoor lightings, to mobility hardware such as mobile helmets, GPS trackers, to industrial hardwares, to healthcare hardware. So anything that you can think of, basically you need data. You need certain data to transmit from the hardware level to the cloud level. Actually, Tuya provides that level of connectivity for our manufacturer clients around the world.
Basically, it's almost everything.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
It's 900 million devices, means there's a lot of devices globally.
But traditionally, Tuya is actually, we are focusing more on the home sector, which is consumer sector, because of the volume. So you can see us, what we define ourselves as more as a smart home pilot. So such as smart home doorbell, door lock, cleaning robot, etc. But in Singapore, actually, we are piloting in terms of industrial hardware. So that's why in Singapore, we are more focusing on what kind of IoT hardware is more applicable, especially for the smart industry. So why we choose Singapore? Because Singapore always have the pilot for Smart Nation. And 10 years ago, actually, Singapore government already launched the Smart Nation initiative. So we think that it's a good industry. It's a good market that our clients, being smart nations, government agencies, they have the belief and they have the capacities to adopt and to drive the adoption rate of Smart Nation. That's why in Singapore, we look at what kind of industrial grade IoT hardware can be applied into various sectors such as commercial buildings, dormitories project that we did together, healthcare sectors, etc. Yeah.
Okay, so that's the ambition for Tuya in the future, is it?
Yep.
To move to commercial industry as well, not just focusing on consumer
Correct.
IoT
Yeah.
itself.
So that's why I'm leading this arm of business expansion from smart home towards smart industry. So not just looking at the IoT hardware perspective, but we are looking at more about IoT application. Means that what kind of hardware plus software will create value for our clients. And in terms of the software layers, there's another data analysis, deep dive into how much data will be valuable towards our clients in order to make decisions. Yeah.
That's very interesting. So Tuya today is already supporting both consumer and enterprise ecosystems, right?
Yeah.
But when it comes to buildings and facilities, especially around energy and sustainability, because the project that we're working together is for energy management as well.
Yeah.
How is that space actually evolving in the market currently, or is there any specific trends that you're currently seeing in this space?
Okay. So traditionally, I would say when Tuya enter the industrial sectors, we know that this sector has been very predominantly by European brands and US brand or Japan brands, being in the BMS sectors, being in the building level power meters such as Schneider's, ABB, Honeywell's, Johnson Control, etc. So those are the building level hardware that is commonly adopted by the industrial player.
Yeah.
So when Tuya entered in this industry, we realized there is a gap in terms of because Tuya is very strong from the smart home sector, which we see actually is indoor capacity. So what we don't want to compete actually is in the common area sectors that is competing with the traditional industrial giants. So how we position ourselves actually is we look at more at the granular data. Means so we look at the building level. We are not competing at the building level. We are not competing at the floor level, but we are competing at the room level. Because in order for the data to be more granular, traditional power meters, energy consumptions, they may not be able to go down to such a granular data, which is to room level or circuit level. So Tuya actually, due to our supply chain advantage and our connectivity capacity of 900 million devices currently on our cloud, so it's very easy for Tuya to deploy thousands level or 10,000 level scale of IoT hardware in a single project and to monitor granular data down to a circuit level energy consumption. So it's more like it's just like when we go for health check. So with Tuya ecosystem hardware currently, we are looking at much more granular and much more micro level of data analysis, especially on the energy consumption. Yep.
Yeah, and that's exactly why, for example, like Sungai Tengah Lodge actually chose us, because we can look at the data at a really granular level, each room. So then, because for the dormitories, each rooms maybe have different, someone is leasing it to different people, right? Yep. So that's why they wanted to know to the granular level, not just one level or even like one sector.
Yeah, and traditional solutions, their power meter is much bigger. I think one is the size of installation. Second is the installation method, which require wire connectivity. So Tuya's hardware actually, we are much smaller and we are wireless connected. So in terms of installation costs, in terms of the rewiring costs, it will be much easier to adopt. So those are the, I would say, advantage that Tuya solution is much more flexible as compared to the traditional power meter solution that we see in the market in Singapore today.
Okay, so, and this is something we always talk about, right? Like the challenge is usually not about the technology itself, it's everything around it, the integrations, the operations, the stakeholders, legacy systems, and this is exactly where we see many projects struggle. So the gap between having the technology and actually making it work in real building, right? From your experience, what are those everything else challenges that actually determine whether a project succeeds or fails?
That's why I think Vector Green is a very good partners that we have selected and we have worked with over the past few years. I think first of all, Tuya has been very clear in day one that we are a software or a platform player. We can have hardware, we can have software solutions, we have data analysis, but those are the solution side. We need to have an execution partner who is very strong on the ground in terms of understanding our technology, knows how to execute the technology in terms of installation, onboarding, maintenance, etc. So with such a strong partner, when we combine together, then we can face the client requirement. So like what you say, in terms of the everything else overall, actually it's more about managing clients' expectation. Managing client expectation is more about when they are confused about how the technology works, whether the partner who's handling the delivery and the maintenance, who has the local presence to engage the clients at a very active rate to make them feel comfortable. I think that's one, I would say, key comfort level that a local partner need to provide. So it's not about how good is your technology. To me, it's how good is your service, which is related to the partner that you chosen. Yeah.
So I think for Vector Green itself, that's why we also, looking for a reliable solution provider as well, such as Tuya, where it can provide, a lot of value to our customers itself, where we help to bridge the gap between the implementation and to integrate it to your system itself.
Correct.
So let's see, back forward. Let's see if you decided last time, let's see if you decided not to go with partners and go directly on your own, implementing on your own. Do you think that it's also possible, or you think that it's very hard and you will rather choose the same path to choose Vector Green as your partner?
I would say we try both approach. We try both approach. Tuya, we executed a few projects by ourselves before in order to understand the entire solution in terms of hardware requirements, software requirements, installation expectation, maintenance, and client expectation. Once we executed one project for ourselves. Basically, it's from 0 to 1. We understand the entire process. We understand what kind of solution and what kind of solution is able to meet the expectation of the clients. When we start to scale, we will look for client, because if we execute all the project by ourselves, we will face the scalability issue, because ultimately we are not just looking at Singapore. The similar solutions can be scaled by Tuya's local partners across the regions, across the group, who are looking at similar profile and the customer service and the standard as what VG is providing in Singapore. I think that's what Tuya has always positioned as a solution provider. So we are more a product development house in terms of hardware and software, and plus a solution base. When it comes to delivery the solutions, especially during the scaling, we always leverage our partner who's able to provide a better service and better engagement for the clients. And I think this one. Second is, of course, understand our solution inside out and knows how to deploy our solution and how to create value for the clients. I think those are the trusted partners that we are looking for.
Okay, I think that makes a lot of sense, because to scale, it's unless you have a very, very unlimited resources that you can use everything in-house on your own, then that makes sense. But in this economy, right, it will be very, very hard to only rely on your own. So that's why partner here give a added value for your business. Okay, so maybe we can talk about ST Lodge a bit more. So maybe you can give more explanations on what exactly did we put in place there, and what was the building was struggling with before our solutions came in.
Okay, I think ST Lodge, Sungai Tengah Lodge was a classic projects that both parties we executed together over the past 2 years. I think the dormitory actually is one of the largest in Singapore, hosting close to 25,000 workers in Singapore. I think in total they have 10 blocks, each blocks 10 floors. Every floor I think close to 10 to 12 rooms. Every room's I think 10 beds. So that's the capacity we are looking at. Before we enter, I think the client actually is paying SP bills on the monthly rates for all the energy consumptions across 25,000 25,000 workers on a monthly basis. So before they are able to build individual rooms to the prospective tenants, they don't have such solution. So they are looking at affordable solutions, fast deploy, and they are able to go down much more flexible solutions that is able to fulfill their requirements. So basically, they are looking at individual rooms. The meter is able to capture the power consumption for the plug load and the lighting, and together with the water consumption. And at the end of the months, the IoT platform is able to generate the bills that are sent to their respective tenants. So for these requirements, actually, other than just a simple providing IoT hardware, we look at how IoT hardware can be fully connected across a huge space, I would say space across 10 blocks, right? So connectivity is one challenge we are facing. What kind of hardware we are choosing. Then after that, once the data is being captured and uploaded to Tuya Cloud, how to manage the tenant list, contract list, and how to generate the bill at the end of the month in order to fulfill the client requirements. I think I would say that's the overall project. I would say across first almost 6 months after we deploy. Every month we do have client feedbacks coming back in terms of the solution feedback. So I would say that 6 months actually you can strengthens two companies' relationship, because it's when facing clients add-on requirements, I start to see how VG is able to actively engage the client's requirement, manage their expectation, and give Tuya the time to develop and improve our hardware and software solution. So with the partnership, I think currently STL has been running over the past 2 years. I think client has been quite satisfied with overall solutions that they're using. I think one of the benefit about converting using our solution is that traditionally their pricing model is a fixed pricing model, in the sense that they have to factor in their utility bill into the fixed monthly rental of the per room. But after they convert into a flexible billing models that leveraging on Tuya's solution right now, they are able to reduce their monthly rental. So it makes STL much more competitive as their peers in the region. But at the same time, they are not bearing the risk of increasing utility bill. And looking at what's happening in Iran right now, so we don't know how much is the tariff rate is going to increase in Singapore, right? So STL actually made a good, I would say, decisions to switch over from a fixed utility bill to a flexible mobility bill using our solutions.
Yeah, so actually in terms of the STL Lodge, the value that they're getting is, I would say there's 2 points. So the first one would be the workflow that we created for them, right? In terms of the automated billing, the contract management. So for example, the operation manager or the facility manager can just see from the dashboard, also the finance people as well. So it streamlined their operations. It's not just visibility. Visibility is one thing that they already know, the power consumption, the water consumption and everything, but ultimately it improves the business outcome of the dormitories itself.
Correct. Yeah, I think this is what Tuya Singapore we always believe means, that IoT shouldn't be just generating data, but our data must be actionable and informative. Means that the operation team is able to leverage on the data that we generate, precisely know how to react and what to react. So I think that's the kind of clarity. So which means that we are not looking at generating tons of data analysis, but in the end, our users are flooded by all these informations, right? You see multiple charts, multiple analysis, multiple alerts coming out, but you don't know what to do with it. So to us, actually, is to generate a lot of data, looking at what are the data is critical for our clients. Then we only review those critical data to our clients that would be allowing them to take action on those, and through operations KPIs, those metrics to value the benefit of having the IoT data analysis.
Correct. So another question is, I'm quite curious actually, because internally, I mean, I believe that Tuya has the ability to test and simulate a lot of things in terms of your software and your hardware. But when it comes to the real deployment, right, for example, in the real dormitory setting, what actually changed? And is there anything that you learned the hard way that you just realized when you deploy in the real situation that is different from what you thought that it would work previously when you developed the solutions?
I would say connectivity is one real challenge, because on the hardware spec, usually they will tell you Bluetooth, ZigBee, these are the connectivity range, but the testing parameters are always in open field. But when we come to the actual deployments, every deployments, the ground is very different. For dormitories, the power meters are covered by the metal plates. The water meters are spread across the entire corridor. So whether the ZigBee signal is able to transmit according to the theoretical distance, I think that's a challenge. So those are the experience and I would say challenge that we need to react on the ground in order to meet the expectation of the clients and make the project success. Like for example, I think during planning, initially what we planned was one ZigBee gateway covering 3 floors. But during deployment, we realized, cannot. One ZigBee gateway can only cover 1 floor. And because the ZigBee signal is not able to penetrate through the concrete flooring going up to the next floor. Then because of that, I think on the hardware perspective, we need to increase number of ZigBee gateway. But it's not just about increasing the number of hardware only. On vector perspective, you all need to think about how the LAN cable is wired to the additional ZigBee gateway and transmitting the data down. So I think those are the parts. But I would say this is the part I think when we face unexpected scenarios, I think we didn't complain. We just take up the challenge and solve the situation. So as of now, I think after all this experience, we have much more real project experience in terms of delivery, and we know how to react to how to spec in the different type of hardware much better.
Yeah, agree. Because I mean, in the future, of course, there will be a lot more project coming in, in different scenarios, different situations. But as long as our partnership between both of the companies is very strong, our knowledge also is even stronger because we have past experiences. So I think that's what makes us actually can work together and deliver the project itself. So maybe let's shift this a bit to the audience. If let's say one of the audience is a building owner or facility manager listening to this, and they don't have a proper visibility into any of the utility usage, power and water, what are they actually losing every month? And why does this matter more now than it did maybe like 5 years ago or 10 years ago in your perspective?
I would say, looking at the current trend, there are a lot more, I would say people are asking for transparency or clarity of the data. I would say clarity of the data. Just like SP bill, every month give you the bill. But do we really know where does the energy being consumed to? So I think that's the general questions that a lot of Tuya's clients are facing. Means that end of the month they are paying for the electricity bill or water bill or general utility bill. That there's always a number there in terms of how much they have consumed in terms of water consumption and energy consumption, right? But if they want to immediately know where does the energy really being consumed to, which we call it the last mile energy consumption analysis, it's very challenging. It's either they deploy a huge amount of resources to install multiple expensive power meters, cabling exercise in order to have that data. If not, means that there's no actions available. So I think I would say there are generally two angles looking at it. Of course, one direction is over the years there's a lot of emphasis on green efforts from global warming, from green plan from the government. So there are a lot of more social responsibility from the corporate sectors who want to take initiative to understand their energy consumption patterns and and start to take actions how to reduce their energy consumption. So I think this is one. Second, of course, is the rising cost. The rising cost could be starting from even a few years back, the Ukraine war, towards COVID, from now, I think the Iran war. So there are a lot of uncertainties about how the global supply chain will be affected by unforeseen circumstances. So I think everyone is trying to minimize their energy consumption when they have when they still have the need, because they don't want to be affected when the price really spike up, but they are not ready. So I think these are the two global trends over the past few years. We realize there's a lot more emphasis on the transparent and the granular data that building owners want to look into. So they are no longer satisfied with campus level, building level, floor level data, which should be BMS that they are able to monitor. But even BMS is just readings. It's just readings. It didn't generate insights. It didn't generate suggestions, actions for them to take actions. So I think that's the plug Tuya trying to fulfill, which is more granular data down to circuit level, down to appliance level, such as is it your lighting consume more energy, or is it your aircon, or is it your plug load, and what kind of actions that you should take. Yep. So with VG, I think we are rolling out such a smaller, I would say, data insight package for the building owners. Yep.
So then, because we also want this solution to reach more and more people, more and more buildings. Correct. So that's why we are rolling out this new initiative that we'll be having soon.
Yeah.
Okay. So actually that's really valuable in terms of like your insights and everything that we just talked about just now. And that is the kind of insight that usually only come after you live through the experience, because we are the one that actually doing it on the ground. So before we get to the fun part of today's episode, we will have a segment, we call it as The Edge. So basically, the whole idea of this The Edge is quite simple, because usually the most useful things in the industry are not the things on the brochure. So I want to ask you a few honest and ground level questions about what it's really like to operate in this space. So maybe you can start off with the first question, which is, before a building even install a single IoT sensor, right? What does a customer need to have in place other than the building for the technology to actually deliver results? So basically, like, what makes a customer ready versus a customer that is not ready for this kind of solutions?
Two aspects. One aspect I would say in terms of infrastructure. Second aspect is in terms of is their mentality. I would say I will start with the infrastructure first. Infrastructure, I would say, very simple. Basically, it's a network connection. Means that is the building ready have connectivity in terms of data transmission path, which means is there Wi-Fi connection? Is the Wi-Fi connectivity covering the entire aspect of every power meter, water meter location? If it's not, then we need to look at how the data is being transmitted. How can the data being transmitted to the cloud or to the location that we want? So it's not so simple as I just want to install a power meter, I just want to install a sensor, I just want to install a water meter. But the location of the water meter, how the data is being transmitted to the cloud. Traditionally, of course, you can pull wire cable, Modbus wire cable. Then there will be wiring costs. There will be wiring costs on it. So when we look at wireless solution, you can reduce on the wiring cabling costs, which is labor costs, material costs, because you are leveraging on wireless technology. But we still need to factor in how this wireless signal, is it stable enough, and can we always get the connectivity as what we want, 365 days, 24/7 a day, to get the device online. So infrastructure is one thing to test whether the project is available or ready to go live. Second, I would say is the mentality, means is from the building owner. A lot of the building owners, we do see projects that building owners are still using 20 years ago BMS and they are comfortable with the existing control and the result that the current BMS is able to generate.
Yeah.
But a lot of them actually, I would say that it's not they don't want, it's the budget that they are restricted because they are running on operational budget. Means that on a yearly basis, they only collect so much from their tenants and there's only so much budgets allocated for maintenance, or for solution upgrades. As a result, it's not they don't want to adopt new solution, it's just that where does the capital come from? Yeah, I think mentality also, another aspect of the mentality is how open are they towards new technology.
Correct.
We also see hotel owners who are very comfortable with wire solution, wire wall switch, using RTU solutions to control. So they have zero tolerance towards network connection failure, means that device go offline.
Yeah.
So I think that's the part. We are finding early adopter for new technology, especially for the industrial sectors. But at the same time, we are also facing builder owners who are reluctant to adopt new technology. But to me, I think it's okay. I mean, any new technology, you need time for the market to adopt. So we are fine. I mean, I don't believe in one day the entire market will adopt your solution. It takes time. It takes certain track records to prove your capabilities and the stability of the solutions in order for the market to be mature. Yeah.
Correct. And I think the mentality is also very important because as you mentioned, the budget problem is, I mean, it's always a business problem, right?
Yep.
To have a spare budget, extra budget for us to improve things or to, basically it's for the better, but you need to have a capital first to purchase or invest in that things, right? So in terms of this mentality, actually I also know that Singapore government have a lot of grants that business can tap into, and Vector Green can also help some of these businesses to apply for this grant because actually one of our management is under the RMC, so actually businesses can use the enterprise development grant to, for example, adopt Tuya solution because it's a customized solutions and can improve the core competency and innovation itself for businesses. So we are still trying to tackle this to make our solutions more accessible to other people, right? So it's still in progress, but we believe that in the future we'll work on more things to make our project more scalable and also easy to adopt with low barrier to entry for building owners. So, getting the system installed is one challenge, right? But actually getting customer to actually, open to the platform, because eventually they will be onboarded on your platform to use your platform to see the usage, maybe to also do the contract management, billing and everything, right? So there will be a change from the manual to the automated workflow. Do you think that it's actually a challenge and a reality to shift the behavior of people, to do from manual to the more advanced, or your software will help it, right? So is that a challenge? And if it is a challenge, right, like how does Tuya solution make that challenge or transition easier?
Okay, I think that's a very good question. So a lot of times what we realize, how the technology is really being adopted by the industry. Usually it's the management level made a decision because they have the budget to pay, right? For the new technology. So then we will come in to implement the solution. But ultimately, actually, the day-to-day operations are used, day-to-day software solutions are used by operation team. So that's why I think from Tuya as the product owner or as a product development team perspective, we always look at how the operation team can use our solution and really help them save their time. So for example, there's other government agency projects that we executed. First thing is training. Training is very important in the sense that train the operator, give them, so I park it as a service, means that hold them hand in hand, ask them what's their daily operational routine.
Yeah.
Then after that, demonstrate to them how our systems is able to do it one time. Then after that, they can just leave it for the peace of their mind. So I think that's the kind of effect that we're going to achieve, because if, of course, we start to see that operation people even asking them to create account,
Yeah.
register emails, verified passwords, a lot of headache, and because it's a new workflow,
Yes,
so
correct.
it's always challenging for them to step out of their comfort zone, and they always have the mentality to they won't know whether is this the end, because maybe the next 1 year, 2 year, the management will roll out new systems.
New system, yeah.
So there will be constant new system disrupting their standard workflow. So I think that's their mentality. So from Tuya perspective, we always listen to customers or the clients. I think to listen to what they really need in terms of streamline the process, so that our onboarding process, our bill generation process will be really value adding or smoothen their operation process. So I think this is what I call the industrial knowledge, because for normal software solution providers, if you never been into this industry, you just develop solution from outside, you may not understand the pain point. So
Yeah.
I would say that that's the edge. With more solutions that we deploy together with Vectors, with more clients that we listen and successfully close the projects, actually we develop we enhance our solutions by gaining more industry knowledge. So by doing that, actually, if more operational people start to use our solution, that's a good indicator. Means that our systems and our solutions are really value adding towards operation. Yeah.
Correct. Okay, so IoT metering, as we already discussed, it generates a lot of data, as you mentioned, right? But
Yeah.
again, data alone doesn't save energy or reduce cost. So someone actually has to start on it, on the data
Yeah.
that they already have. So what do you think, like, the difference between a customer who gets a real value from your platform over time versus the one who doesn't get the value from the platform
Okay,
itself?
so with the granular data that we are able to provide, I think the first insights the management is able to get is you have a distinctive understanding where is your energy being consumed to, what's the appliance that's really consume your energy at what time. Means that you are able to plot out your behavior heat map across 24-hour windows. What appliance has been consumed throughout the days.
Yep.
You are able to map out your working hour profiles. What's your weekday working patterns and versus your weekend, so that you are able to identify anomaly. And from there, actually, you can look into any spike in terms of energy consumption. It could be on a daily 24-hour window, or it could be on an hourly window. So with I would say with data analysis that is much more precise, and we are able to present a very clear, distinctive, actionable recommendation to the management. Actually, it helps them to take action. So then with that, I think once the management, so what we believe is we don't want the analysis portion is done by the management or the operator.
Okay.
What we believe is they just want to see what should I do, and they just execute. And in the future, if the actuators are also IoT, such as adjusting temperature of the HVAC systems, taking down the meter readings, turning off the water valve for irrigation hardware,
Yep.
then you don't even need management to take actions. What we believe is the management should just sit behind a huge monitors. The computer is able to execute and manage the entire buildings by itself. I think that's the goal that we are having. So from data generation towards data analysis, towards data execution. The entire cycle can be complete by machine. So as of now, actually, we are looking at very simple thing: energy consumption, capture energy consumption towards managing aircon, managing lights, then reflect towards energy consumption again. And this feedback should be automatic as much as possible.
And I think that's where we're heading in the next probably 3 to 5 years. I mean,
Hopefully faster.
hopefully faster, yes.
Hopefully end of this year we should be able to see something. Yeah.
Hopefully, because the government is also getting more aggressive in terms of
Yep.
asking businesses to, go on energy savings,
Yep.
appliances, or even grants and all these green plans towards 2030. We don't really have much time
Yep.
to 2030, so actually this is a critical moment for our solutions and this industry to
Yep.
fast track the current solutions that we have
Yeah.
to further improve the situation.
Yeah.
So the last question of this segment is actually, in your opinion, right, what does a good implementation partner actually needs to get it right for the technology to perform the way it's supposed to? So basically, what separates a smooth rollout and a difficult one?
I would say initial planning is very important. Means that understand the solution architect much better in terms of how capable is the hardware, from metering towards gateway connectivity, towards what's the cabling requirement, etc. So pre-planning, I think what we call the SA, solution architect, is quite important. With these, I think the costing will be reflecting towards that we have sufficient buffer to handle all the unforeseen circumstances that's happening during delivery. It could be logistic, price suddenly dramatically increased because of the Iran war, things like this. So with sufficient planning, I think it gives us a lot of buffer that we are able to deploy our solution much better. I think this one. Second is during implementation, clients will definitely ask for, with the same amount of money that they pay, they ask for a lot more functions, a lot more functions, right? Because it's human nature. I already pay $10. I'm asking for, instead of just specifying at $10 stuff, right? They're asking, am I able to get $15 value or $20 value, right? So they will ask for more functions, or they will ask for more requirements. So this is the part, actually having a clear scope of work signed across both parties, I think is quite important, because that's the ultimate documents. We can always bring it out to say that your new requirement is not stated in the scope of work.
Yeah.
So I think that will keep everyone on a very gentleman agreements, in the sense that in case clients say that why these functions is stated in my emails, or I told you before, there's always a document that you can refer back to. So scope of work is quite important, and I think even between partners like Tuya and Vector Green, we also use scope of work, I think, quite clearly in terms of to define what kind of specific functions that you will need, then we'll develop, because I think there's costs involved also. So scope of work is important. Third one, I would say in terms of smooth, is handling unexpected circumstances from the client. So means that the client, our partner, must be flexible enough. Flexible in terms of generate solution idea, how to solve, how to meet the client's expectation one way or another. So being flexible, I think that's quite. I mean, sometimes I'm a flexible person, so I think VG is quite flexible also. So that's why there's a lot of times when VG needs last minute delivery requirements, we always accelerate so that we can meet the expectation. I think being understandable among partners, so that we are able to be flexible in order to meet clients' requirement. I would say, I think that is quite important. So it's not just about knowing the hardware well, knowing the solution well, but it's more about a lot of EQ, I would say. A lot of EQs involve managing people's expectation.
Yeah, I think that is also very hard lah. Managing people, it's always the hardest part as well.
Yeah.
So actually that's the end of our The Edge segment. So
okay.
the next one will be about the myth and reality lah. So
Okay.
I'm going to read out a statement. There's a 6 statement here. So you can tell me whether it's from your opinion and your experience, right? Is it a myth or is it a reality? So if it's a myth, then you can ring the bell and you can tell us why. Because the why is always the most interesting part, right? Why is it a myth? And maybe you can share from your experience as well. Okay, so you ready?
Okay.
So the first one is smart building solutions are plug and play.
So if I ring the bell means
It's wrong. You think it's wrong.
Yeah, I think
Okay. Why do you think it's wrong?
when we design as a solution provider, we always thought that plug and play is our end goal. It's like a fantasy or it's a ultimate goal that we believe should be plug and play. Okay, for smart home, technically it's possible. Or for a lot of our hardwares are we call it off the shelf, means that consumer clients, they can take our hardware plug and play at their home. But when it comes to commercial solutions, I would say plug and play generally is very challenging because actually a lot of the end customer require service. One is the technical understanding, knowledge about this hardware. It could be how to use, what's the warranty, how to get the service. So the SI capability is very important. So in terms of providing the technical understanding about the hardware. Second is of course providing installation, configuration, a lot of the installation service. Third one actually is on the maintenance, because a lot of the clients actually they are very their day-to-day operations are involved handling their own scope of work. So they don't have times to handle the maintenance of IoT hardware, IoT solutions. So that's why they are looking for clients to or solution providers to manage the maintenance side. So with these three, I think providing technical expertise, providing installation services, and providing the maintenance peace of mind. So generally, I would say commercial IoT solutions definitely is not plug and play. Yep.
Makes sense. So the second one is more data always leads to better decisions.
Not really, because
Oh, okay. Why?
recently I'm flooded by a lot of data, because AI actually generates a lot of more data as what normal data analysis is able to provide for you.
Okay.
But with a lot of data, actually we need to look into how the data are linked with each other and how data are telling you the right message that a manager is able to take actions. So for example, when you have a lot of data, means a very simple data analysis, which means if you are looking at 30 days energy consumption patterns in your office, for example, if I give you every day 24-hour energy consumption of their office for 30 charts, you are not able to analyze anything. It's data, but
It's just data.
it's just data, but you are not able to analyze. But when I stack the 30 days onto a single chart and give you an average of the 30 day, then I start to show you out of every single day to map against the average of these 30 days and what's the anomaly across the day. Then you start to see some interesting pattern coming out. So it's not about the more data is good, but actually you need someone to look at the data to start to draw the connections about data and how to make sense of those data. I think that's more challenging nowadays, especially because there are a lot more data coming in. So if you don't know what you are looking at, you will straight away be lost by the sheer size, sheer volume of data. So generally my advice is you need to know what you're looking at first. You need to know what's the angle before you look at the data. Then you will know that how to sift through the data to arrive at the right conclusion that you're looking at.
Actually, one of the keyword here is pattern. Like, because a lot of data, a lot of things, sometimes we are, as you mentioned, we are confused. But if we can see the pattern clearly, then we can kind of know, okay, so I think I need to take action on this, like, for example. But when we talk about this, right, like, when we link back to Tuya's solution, Tuya's platform, how does this reflected on your platform itself? Like, to give a intuitive next action step for the manager, let's say, in terms of their energy consumptions and
so
things.
The first thing is the analysis. We already formulate standard templates for critical energy analysis that management will require.
Okay.
So for example, certain data, what is the best way of presenting them? Is it pie chart? Is it line chart? Is it bar chart? Is it stack line chart? So we run through the same set of data across all type of different way of presentation. Then we look at what's the best way. What's the best way to tell the same story? Then we find the most easy, most intuitive data format to present to the management. So for this, actually, we already created the format. So of course, more feedbacks are welcome from our end users, so that we can constantly adjust. I think this is one thing, so that the data format, the most critical things to find out anomaly, to find out your usage patterns, and how to map, how to compare your data. So we really think about it. We really think through the logic behind it thoroughly, and went through the analysis on behalf of the clients. So I think this is number one. Second is the summary. What's the finding that we are able to find out? So if you just look at all the numbers, actually there are a lot of numbers when you look at individual circuits across 24 hours and you times 30 days, just a 30 days data sets. You may be looking at thousands of numbers running around. So human brain is not able to process this. So you need computers to find out what's the percentage of change and what kind of average you are looking at. So the kind of summary finding actually is quite important. So Tuya has really generated findings based on the data set that we have. Lastly, actually, is the energy saving recommendation. So with all these findings, we look at what's the most low hanging fruits that our clients are able to adopt in order to start immediate energy savings that they are able to achieve just based on circuit level energy consumption analysis.
Okay, yes, that's actually very important. The third question is, enterprise clients are slow to adopt new tech.
Okay. It's I would say 50-50 enterprise because it really depends on the mentality of the management. Definitely it's not limited, or it's not directly associated to the size of the enterprise. So I do experience enterprise who are really they are very reluctant in terms of leveraging on new technology. So they are very risk averse. They rely on traditional, tested and proven solutions that they have been used throughout their entire career. So I would say I understand them in the sense that they just want to be safe. They just want to be safe. So I also use the same approach to ask myself, how can Tuya Solutions one day to be that safe that even this group of clients, they are comfortable to use our solution. So it takes time. But on another side, on the flip side, there are also huge corporates who are very they are risk taker in terms of their new solution adopter. So they are very prone towards new idea. They are very keen to test out POC. But sometimes my own feeling is that sometimes having too many POC may not be a good thing, because your entire time, energies are involved in terms of POC, because POC
Yep.
is not a huge contract in terms of scalability.
Yes.
So my suggestion is you can do one POC, two POC, but once you find one killing solution in terms of hardware plus software, focus on that solution first. Try to make it scale. So that don't just keep on doing POC A, POC B, POC C, POC D, because you realize, yes, you are very busy. Every month you have new project, new prospect coming, but
Yeah.
in the end, it's all small projects coming in for POC because it's not able to scale. So to define one solution, whether it's really adopted by the market, is not looking at whether you have one client, but whether you have 100 clients to look at it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. It's always about, I mean, the scalability is always very important
Yep.
in this industry.
Yep.
And also, as you mentioned, a lot of POC of different things, let's say, it's also diverting the focus of
Yep.
the impact that we can give to the buildings.
Correct. Yep.
Because there can be a lot of sustainability related or energy savings project, but ultimately, if we can focus on one and get the most out of it, I think it will be
Yep.
better for everyone lah.
Yep.
So the next question is, technology alone is enough to drive sustainability outcomes?
Nope, definitely it's not technology. Like what I say, other than technology, we need partners. We need the management in terms of the open-minded in terms of accepting new technology. We need capital. We need capitals. So I always think that having a good technology, which is solution, hardware plus software plus data analysis, is just a beginning. It's just a beginning. So this makes you have the right ticket to enter into this market. But after that, actually, is building the relationship with your partner, with your clients. After that, with the adoption mentality from your clients, then lastly with the capital support, then you can really drive up the mentality. So technology alone is definitely not enough.
Yeah. So it's also about the building the whole ecosystem.
Yep.
Not just, I mean, center in the technology is possible, but also having those stakeholders surrounding you. So
Yeah.
then eventually it can also accelerate the technology improvement
Yeah.
as well, because we get feedbacks from
Yep.
clients or from the research and so on and so forth.
Yep.
Okay.
So moments of satisfaction working with VG is always about after we close a very challenging clients or projects. When we look back, I think we always it's the memory. Like after 10 years, 20 years, you look at multiple projects that you deploy, but end of the day, it's not about how much profit you have generated, but with a group of friends that we executed all these projects together, and ultimately there's a value add towards the industry, being energy saving, being value creation to the client. So your clients likes you, your partner likes you, you feel very satisfied with the solution that you deploy. So I think that's the entire ecosystems or the experience that we are looking at building together along the energy saving path. Yeah.
Okay, so the last one will be partnership is a catalyst for scalability.
Yep. Yeah, it's not a myth. Yeah,
It's a fact. So you
yes,
think
correct.
it's a fact? Okay.
Yeah, partnership is a catalyst. Yeah, correct.
Finally, we have one fact out of all of the.
Yeah, because
the myths.
like what I say, Tuya, when we started, we tried 0 to 1 ourselves, because at the time none of the partner believe in Tuya solution, because they always see us as a platform play. We are module focusing on factories, which in Singapore there are limited
Yes,
manufacturing capabilities,
correct.
right? So a lot of the clients, a lot of the regional SIs, they don't believe they are able to use Tuya solutions to deliver commercial solutions. So at the time, actually, Tuya deliver everything by ourselves. So from sourcing towards pitching, towards installation, maintenance, everything by ourselves. But once we go through 0 to 1, then we realize the next phase we need to find partners. But sourcing for right partners actually is like dating. It takes some luck. It takes some luck to try out, because there are partners who tell you I can do everything under the sun. Yeah, there are partners who doesn't promise too much, but always they deliver. So I would say having the right partner, over a period of times, you will know who are the right partners. It's definitely the catalyst to expand the solutions. Then, we don't believe we are able to do everything by ourselves. So, looking for right partners at different part of the value chain is very critical for Tuya Singapore's positioning.
So before we wrap up, I want to ask you two final questions because I think the most valuable thing that we can give to anyone that is listening to this podcast is actually a clear, honest piece of advice from you as a subject matter expert, people on the ground. So for technology providers looking to enter markets like Singapore, right, for example, especially in the enterprise sustainability, is there any advice that you will give to them based on your own experience in entering Singapore market with different angle of going to the commercial building solutions itself? Is there anything that you learn along the way, and if there's anyone wants to kind of follow your path, any advice you will give to them?
I would say for solution providers, my advice would be focused. I think I shared before, when you first enter into Singapore, your clients would throw all their operational problems to you. For example, they will say, are you able, generally it's summarized into two sectors, right? Whether it's energy saving or manpower saving.
Yep.
So they will ask you, can you do everything? Can you do everything under the sun? Can you track manpower, mobility? Can the robotic go up to different floor? Can you save aircon? Can you save lighting? Can you track presence sensor? So you will realize it's very easy to be diverted or diverted by the client request. Then at the time they will ask you for POC, like what I say, for POC. And this is where you realize, in order to fulfill your client requirements, every month you are testing new solutions. As a result, new solutions are not stable. You are investing more time to improve the solution in order to meet the expectation of the clients. As a result, maybe from a 1 year, 2 year perspective, you have developed a lot of products or solutions for clients, but in the end, you don't have a clear deep dive or the scalability of any of the solution.
Yeah.
Then when you look back, you realize, actually, I'm not being focused. So I think being focused in terms of find the right market size means what kind of product that you want to, what's the market size that you're trying to solve, what's the pain point, and because that the market is big enough, and what kind of solutions that you are able to address that solution, that market. Then after that, definitely do 1 or 2 POCs straight away to test whether this solution is able to scale. If you find 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, you're not able to scale, means that your market analysis could be wrong. Then that's where you should look at another thing. So be focused, and sometimes have the bravery to say no to your client. Say that I cannot do this. I don't want, or put it, say that I don't want to do this. I just say that I prefer to focus on this part of the solution. So it's it's something that I'm also constantly telling myself even today, because Tuya as a platform, we do have a lot of solutions under Tuya's umbrella. So I also tend to tell my clients that I can do everything, but in the end, I'm trying to focus also. So it's a reflection for myself over the past few years. Yeah.
I see. Because of course, as a solution provider, or even like Vector Green, we also want to take all of the projects, everything say also can. But in reality, can is can, but whether it's maximized, whether it's really, really impactful is another question, right? So that's very important and makes sense. And for the last question is for building owners, right? Like, why is it a must-have for them to have your solutions in their building?
I would say cost competitiveness. I think this one. Second, I would say is a huge value add in terms of data that we are able to generate. I think just give us a try with $5,000 within a month. We cover hardware installation and reports, you can see the result by yourself in terms of how much insights we are able to generate for your company. Yeah, for your company. So I would say one's the cost. Second is the amount of value creations that we are able to generate. Yeah.
Okay, so actually that's about it for this episode. So that's a great note to end on. So Charles, thank you for coming to our first podcast episode. So
Welcome.
you're our
Yeah.
first guest. You've been very open and incredibly generous with your insights on what you've shared today. Because actually, this kind of conversation is not your everyday conversation that everyone will hear, right? Because you're the one that's on the ground. Vector Green also on the ground, but some people only hear here and there, don't really know what is happening on the ground itself. So I think the people listening actually got something real out of this conversation.
Okay.
So
Good.
thank you very much.
Welcome. Yeah.
So if there's one thing I want you to take away from today's conversation is this. Getting technology to actually work in a real world is not just a technology problem, right? It's about understanding operations, it's about working in real environments with real constraints and real people. And it's about having the right partner, as what Charles mentioned, to bridge the gap between what a platform can do and what a building actually needs. That's where we see the biggest gap, because that's where most of the value is either created or lost. If you're running a building right now and you don't have visibility into your energy and water consumption, that's costing you money today, actually. And it's going to cost you even more as reporting requirements tightens. We are happy to work with you, just like what we did with ST Lodge. We'll come in, try to understand your building and help you to take the right steps. Whether that's accelerating your decarbonization journey, meeting your sustainability targets, or just getting a clarity on what's actually happening inside your building. If you have a sustainability related or green technology that works but you're not sure how to prove it in a real enterprise environment, Vector Green run test beds, manage the implementations, and helps you build the proof point you needed to scale your business. So as what Charles mentioned as well, that having the right partner is a catalyst to your scalability of your business. So my advice is don't try to go in alone into a market that you don't know and not familiar with. Reach out to us and we can build something real and meaningful together. That's it for today for the first episode of The Edge, where we explore the real stories behind the energy transition. If today's conversation resonated with you, follow us and share this with someone relevant, such as someone who runs a building or work in green tech, and leave us a comment because we want to hear from you. You can also go to the description box where there's a link for you to get your personalized potential energy savings report with just uploading your recent utility bills, whether it's last month or the past 3 months, right? And you can try it for free. And you can see how you can save, how much you can save, and what you can do about your building energy. So see you next time. Bye-bye.